Hi, good morning. My name is Roberto Suarez. I am one of PCC's Pathway Guidance Managers. I'm part of a team that oversees the advising and the Career Center staff that helps our students navigate through their programs and their academic goals here at PCC. But speaking of navigating through PCC, the Metro Workforce Training Center and many of the other training centers that are a part of the PCC community, these are also places where a lot of students begin their academic journey. And my own professional journey at PCC started in workforce training and development almost 25 years ago when I worked as with a Job Training and Partnership Act program out of the Capital Center, one of the facilities that PCC doesn't work out of anymore. But it used to be part of the programs that, in conjunction with Portland Metro, helped so many in our community find new work opportunities and opportunities to pursue their education and their career goals. And in many ways, these are centers that sometimes their presence goes unsung at PCC and in our community. They don't get the same level of recognition that our main campuses do. So for me, the work that the Workforce Training Centers does is very important and very special, since I know that so many lives are transformed by the work that happens in our Workforce Training Centers. And thankfully, I'm grateful to my own career at PCC for having had the opportunity to start at a Workforce Training Center, and I'm grateful this morning to be here as your host. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. In spite of the cold weather and brisk temperatures that we're experiencing, as well as all the uncertainty around the COVID-19 pandemic. And thank you also to those of you joining us virtually. This is being live streamed, so welcome to you as well. This is an event to celebrate the advancement of workforce development and the partnerships that contribute to a suite of offerings that are part of the redevelopment of this site. A modern, purposefully designed building creates an asset in the Northeast community on this site, a site that touches both the Cully and the Concordia neighborhoods. It also helps to continue the excellent work by PCC and Department of Human Services staff, who currently operate out of this facility, but since the pandemic have been operating remotely or in hybrid fashion for the last almost 2 years. We are also extremely grateful to all of you, all of the people who have supported this project. You have contributed to getting us to this day, which marks the beginning of the construction phase. A very special shout out to Pam Hester and her Portland Metropolitan Workforce Training staff. Can we hear a round of applause for Pam, please? Pam has generously and wholeheartedly, she dove into the planning of this project and has eagerly participated in many, many meetings around the design of the new facility. We also want to begin this morning with a land acknowledgement. PCC prioritizes land acknowledgements at its events and gatherings to call attention to the history and heritage associated with our region, to honor this history, and to welcome the responsibility to respect and care for this new facility and the education that will be delivered from it. Collectively, this enables PCC to live up to its mission, to support equitable student success, deliver access to quality education, advance economic development, and promote sustainability in a collaborative culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion. At this time, I would like to invite Fadwa Basal, Integration Coordinator for the Portland Metropolitan Workforce Training Center, to read our land acknowledgement.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This center rests on the ancestral land of Cowlitz, Confederating Tribes of Siletz, Indian, Confederated Tribes of Grand Rand, Clackamas, Cascade, and many other tribes who made their homes and summer encampments along the Columbia River. We thank the descendants of these tribes for being the original stewards and the protector of this land since time immemorial. Let us not forget about the systemic policies, genocide, discipline, resettlement, and forced assimilation that still impact many indigenous Native American families today. We are honored by the collective work of many Native nations, leaders, and families who are demonstrating resilience, resistance, healing, and creativity. We pay respect for their elders, past and present. We also acknowledge that the city of Portland has one of the largest urban Native American populations in the US, with over 380 federally recognized tribes represented in the urban Portland metropolitan area. We are honored to guest upon these lands. The PCC strategic plan has identified a commitment to acknowledging, supporting Native and Indigenous communities. We also carry this commitment by engaging and taking recommendations from the Native Nation and Indigenous Equity Steering and Action Group of the district, leaders of Diversity Council. With the larger community, we aspire to further develop the relationship and collaboration with individuals and agencies who support Native family so we can together build a better future for everyone. And for myself, I just want to say that for me, coming from different background and speaking another language, I'm so proud to be part of this special event. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you, Fadwa. At this time, I am honored to introduce somebody who I am so glad to finally see in person after almost 2 years, our president, Mark Mitsui. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Roberto. It's great to be here. Thank you, everybody, for coming this morning as well. Thank you to Michael Sonnleitner, Director, PCC of our elected board, for being here today. Really appreciate your support. We will have Mayor Wheeler here later, and so really looking forward to his participation. Also want to acknowledge the work of Representative Tanya Sanchez with this particular project, her amazing support, the support of her staff for this as well. And I believe we have with us today Sarah Ryan from Multnomah County Commissioner Jayapal's office. Sarah, is Sarah here? There she is. Sarah's waving. Thank you for being here. Folks from Living Cully, we have Verde, we've got Naya in the house. Paul Lumley, thank you so much for being here and for your ongoing partnership with PCC. When Melanie and I first moved here from DC, we noticed a couple things right away about Portland. First, the honking here came from the geese. And second, Portland has a lot of bridges. We have come to think of PCC as one of those bridges. A bridge to opportunity, a bridge to a better future, a bridge to a better life through education and training. On one side of the bridge, we've got talented, capable, hardworking folks who just need a break, an educational opportunity. On the other side of the bridge, we've got great jobs, great careers with living wages. PCC is in the middle. We are the bridge and the pathway for so many, for generations of folks, to go from one end of the bridge to the other. How many folks here either attended PCC or know somebody who's attended PCC in the past? Yeah. Over 1 million people in our region have stepped foot onto that bridge in hopes of a better tomorrow. The challenge and the barriers to the crossing of that bridge have grown over the years. In a recent survey by the Hope Center at Temple University, 60+% of respondents indicated they have experienced either housing or food insecurity within 6 months of the survey. Almost 20%, 19% plus of respondents indicated that they had experienced houselessness within 6 months of that survey. It's really hard to focus on school when you don't know what you're going to eat or where you're going to sleep. We know that tuition gets a lot of policy attention, as it should, and the barriers to crossing that bridge, the majority are related to basic needs. Childcare, in addition to transportation, in addition to Medicaid and the need for health care and health insurance while going to school. You know, our students are one sick kid, one flat tire away from dropping out. So the Opportunity Center, which we are breaking ground for today, is intended to begin to reduce those barriers, to bring together public and private partners in a new way, building on the fantastic and amazing work of the professionals at this Workforce Training Center under the leadership of Pam Hester. We want to extend and expand that great work through expanded partnerships with Department of Human Services in the public sector. I want to give a shout out to Dan Hahn and the Self-Sufficiency Division for the amazing work that DHS has done in partnership. They are going to bring case managers and locate them here at the Opportunity Center in larger numbers. I want to thank our community-based organization partners like NEA and others who also Living Cully, the organizations that are part of Living Cully that will be here within the Opportunity Center. The subtext for the Opportunity Center is that it's more than co-location. Co-location has its advantages for sure. It'll be great that everybody's in the same place, so our students don't have to go take 3, 4, 5 bus trips to get Medicaid, to get Section 8, or to get TANF childcare. They'll be able to do that all in the same place. But it's actually competing with the winds of change, I think, here. But we want to bring change to this landscape in order to help more students cross that bridge through the actual integration of services and funding. So for example, we've got some agencies that are really good at a particular kind of funding. They're experts at that, but they may not understand education funding. They may not understand state and federal financial aid. And then we've got the college, which is really good at educational financial aid, but may not understand food stamps, may not understand TANF, may not understand Section 8. And then we have community-based partners that have fantastic programs and have been serving a highly diverse sets of communities within the broader Portland community and have the trust, the hard-earned trust and wisdom. How do we bring all of these folks together in a way that's more holistic and integrated? What I used to see, I worked in student affairs for a while, and I remember watching a case manager one time with client in tow, go up to the financial aid desk, pound their fist on the desk and say, you know, where's my client's Pell check? But what they didn't know was that Pell means more than the FAFSA, file verification, other steps that are needed. And what used to happen before integration was that we would get somebody started on, let's say, step would run out, they wouldn't complete their file, and the other steps for financial aid from Pell, we would lose them. They'd drop out, we'd never see them again. The vision behind integration is Let me know when you hit EGO, eyes glazed over. I get kind of wonky sometimes. But what happens, what we envision now is that a student could get started on, let's say, STEP, which can pay for tuition, childcare, a variety of other needs that students have. And in the meantime, they'll be applying for Pell. And when STEP ends, they slide right into Pell, and their educational journey continues seamlessly. That's the vision behind integration. So that also childcare, so that also Medicaid, so that also other forms of supports, private supports too, like scholarships from the PCC Foundation or Future Connect funding from the City of Portland, can all be integrated at the same time. And that way, more students will be able to cross over, have their unmet needs met, reach the other side of the bridge. This is really the first phase. The Opportunity Center should be done by the end of June 2023. The next phase is for us to pilot a way of addressing the housing needs. And I want to thank Home Forward for their partnership in a pilot to be constructed on this property for about 83 units to provide affordable housing so that students will be able to have a roof over their heads while they go to school. The vision is that students would be able to get up, walk over here to the Opportunity Center, get the food stamps, TANF, other supports they need, Pell, go to any of our programs, Swan Island Trade Center, 4th and Montgomery Dental Sciences program, to access a better tomorrow through education and training. After a year to 2 years, they move out, and the next family moves in. We want more people, just like you do, to cross from one end of the bridge to the other. So we're really, really thankful for the collective work here today that will allow us to begin to reopen, to widen that bridge, to help more students cross from one side to the other. And it is about students. I think about a student that came to us on food stamps. This was before the pandemic, entered into a welding program, got out a couple years later, making really, really good money. No longer needing food stamps, having more financial independence, getting to the other side of the bridge. So thank you very much, and I really also want to thank the voters. This could not have happened without the bond, the 2017 bond, and really want to thank all of the folks who voted for our bond. We have another one coming up in the fall of 2022, so we can extend this work. We can help more students go from one end of the bridge to the other. I see Mayor Wheeler is here. Thank you for being here, Ted. Appreciate your ongoing support for PCC and our students. Thank you again, everybody, for being here on a pretty windy and cold day. Shows your dedication for the same vision of helping more students cross that bridge. I'll turn it back to you, Roberto.
Thank you, President Mitsui. And now I have the pleasure of introducing the Mayor of the City of Portland, Mayor Ted Wheeler. Welcome.
Well, I just figured out it's much warmer in the tent than it is outside. So if some of you in the back want to come in, it's seriously much milder in here. And President Matsui, one other thing that you probably noticed when you moved from D.C. is it's balmy here by comparison to Washington, D.C., and we're grateful to have you here. So good morning, and thank you to Portland Community College for having me here on this momentous day. And I always say that I really like the grand openings a little bit better than the ground breakings. We've had heat, we've had rain, we've had sleet, we've had snow, we've had wind, so we've seen it all. But really, this is just a precursor to the main event, which is when we come back for the grand opening. And that'll be an exciting day. Over the course of my career, I have certainly witnessed firsthand the power of upstream investments that are consistently supported over the long term. Our city and our people thrive when we invest in the kind of infrastructure and services that are needed to help propel people towards brighter futures. Everyone's career path, of course, is different. No two people have exactly the same career path. However, there is one thing we all need as we pursue our individual career paths, and that is meaningful support. This is where Portland Community College steps in with their Workforce Training Center. It's about providing people with the support they need to be successful in whatever career path they choose. This new facility will help PCC to continue their good work in helping Portlanders develop career skills through both training and support. This program has been incredibly innovative. It's been vital in creating a more equitable and accessible workforce in Portland. And of course, as all of us struggle through the economic effects of COVID, one thing that we're seeing is the economic inequalities that existed prior to the pandemic have in fact been exacerbated by the pandemic. And so if we're truly to have an economically successful and prosperous community, it's incumbent on us to find ways to really lift those who are on the wrong side of the economic inequality equation. You are consistently investing here at PCC in uplifting unrepresented communities and those who've historically left behind as you provide incredibly important job skills and employer connections. And this is more than just a system. You've done a great job in fostering collaboration between programs. And President Matsui mentioned at the beginning of his remarks that there are many, many different community partners represented here as part of this important collaboration. There's different institutions here, all working to match people with job sectors that are in need of skilled labor during this particular time in our history. These are honest and necessary jobs in our community. They have livable wages, and ultimately the kinds of careers that are going to be kick-started here are the kinds of careers that will help our entire community thrive. And if there's anything we've noticed during this pandemic, it is that when any part of the economy, from raw materials all the way to retail and wholesale distribution, if any part of that economic equation is not staffed with the necessary personnel, with the tools, the resources, the training, the skill set they need to be successful, the whole thing suffers. The whole economic equation for the entirety of the community and indeed the nation struggles. And so this becomes doubly important right now. I also want to recognize that employment support is not the only barrier or challenge facing Portlanders who are looking at ways to improve themselves economically. The lack of affordable housing options has been an ongoing crisis in our city for decades, and we all understand that everybody needs a safe and affordable place to call home. And of course, it can be extremely difficult to navigate the barriers to education and workforce development when you're struggling to pay your rent or your mortgage on a limited income. I want to thank PCC for your continued investment in affordable housing. You're addressing increasingly difficult problems with broad, holistic solutions. And I look forward to standing in the new Workforce Training Center next year. It's going to be a beautiful state-of-the-art building. It's well-deserved for a state-of-the-art program, which I know you will provide. I want to thank you for the work that you are doing here collectively to support Portlanders, particularly those who are in need. You've shown that a strong vision can deliver strong results. So thank you all for your great work. I am so proud to be part of this community on days like this. Thank you all very much. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Pam Hester. She is Portland Community College's Regional Director of Community Workforce Development. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I am so thrilled to be here with you today. Although workforce training is indeed part of our mission, our space is really more accurately described as an opportunity center. It's a welcoming space that creates opportunities for people to transform their lives through education and careers. It's an inspiring space that will serve the community with a broad range of skill development and inclusive wraparound services, including affordable housing. And it's a collaborative space where our integrated systems partners and funders and employers can come together to provide innovative programs that support and connect people to education and careers and drive that pipeline of talent to our businesses. The goal of this Workforce Development Center is to reverse racial and economic disparities. And we know that the key to economic mobility is education. But we also know that for busy adults who are juggling families and jobs, education can often seem inaccessible. So the partners at our Opportunity Center are going to work together to make sure that education, economic mobility, and career success are accessible for our community members. PCC and DHS will continue to provide the incredible services we currently provide in our building, including family stabilization and coaching and career exploration and preparation for education and connection to employers who pay living wages. And in the new center, community members are going to be able to access and explore careers that lead to living wages. They're going to build skills that they need to succeed and meet with workforce experts who can help them build a plan for their success. I want to thank President Mitsui for having this amazing vision for our community. And as he mentioned, we've developed some amazing partnerships that are helping people thrive. I want to thank our partners who have been with us since the beginning, DHS, Home Forward, NEA. They immediately saw the promise of this vision, and they said they wanted to be a part of it, and they've helped us figure out what needs to happen inside. Living Cully helped us gather important information and ideas from our community members. And I want to thank Multnomah County Commissioner Jayapal and her Chief of Staff, Sarah Ryan. They've been instrumental in helping us develop future partnerships. And I want to thank our dedicated staff. They work daily to coach and inspire people, and they've helped us design a building that's going to be welcoming for all of our community members. And finally, I want to thank all of you, our current and future partners in this space. Together, we will transform lives and our community through education and careers. And now with that, I'll hand it over to Linda Degman. She's our Director of PCC's Office of Planning and Capital Construction. And be careful up here, Linda.
Thank you, Pam. So I just want to say this truly has been a labor of love and commitment by so many people, and I'm going to get to thanking that. But first of all, I want to thank President Mitsui for his early vision in bringing this project to light. Without his vision and taking us on some field trips to really understand how we could do things differently at this location, we wouldn't be here today with the program that we have in place and with all the partners. So first I want to thank Pam. She's been instrumental, and with her and her team, as far as all the times we've asked to meet with all of them to really guide us through the process of the design. And I think we've come to a really great place, and we're thankful to be here. I want to thank Home Forward for our vision of joining the college in our first affordable housing project that we'll ever have on PCC campus. So we're really thankful for that. And again, as Pam thanks some of you for thanking our neighboring community and community-based organizations. Living Cully for the upfront early engagement with our communities was really beneficial to the start of the design process that we went into. As well as Habitat for Humanity and NEA and Verde and Hacienda CDC, our 42nd Avenue for their encouragement and interest in the redevelopment. Those were all great conversations that really led us to where we're at today, and we wouldn't be where we are. As well as thanking our internal operational partners for all their impact that they have on the design of the project as well. We are so thankful for their input. Some information about the building. As you can see, it's going to be in the southwest corner of our space. It's 2 stories, 50,000 square feet. It includes classrooms, staff offices, meeting rooms, a large community room that will open out onto a community space. So we're really grateful, and we hope that will get a lot of use. It encourages easy navigation and provides space where first-comers and enrolled students will all feel welcome. And that's the thing that we really want to create, an open, welcome environment where everyone that comes through the doors will feel welcome to come inside. Our architects are Bora Architects, Architecture and Interiors, and we're thankful for their coming along on the ride and being here with us. And the construction company is Anderson Construction. So thank you all for your work to where we're at today. There's a few firsts for this project. The first is, this is the first cross-laminated timber project that we've ever done at PCC, so we're excited to see the outcome of that. It will be a beautiful, warm feeling inside the building versus just a regular office building like most of our other spaces are. First time in developing affordable housing on a campus. It's the first. We have more to come on that, hopefully, so more to come. And it's our second Path to Net Zero project. And so we are serious about sustainability at PCC. And so as part of this project, we aspire to LEED Silver, but we are on a clear path to LEED Gold. So we are hoping to get there. As President Mitsui said, we're opening summer of 2023, and we will have a grand opening. So we're excited for that. So make sure you all come back for that. We are doing this in a phased development, so we will build our new PCC building, and then we will tear down the existing buildings, and then Home Forward can build their housing. So they're kind of waiting for us to get our project done so they can start on their housing projects. As well as with all of our projects, we have a 20% contracting goal for minority-owned, women-owned, emerging small business-owned, and service-disabled veteran-owned firms to participate in the project. And we make sure that they're part of our community or working on our projects as well. And last but not least, I do want to thank my team for setting all this up today, getting this all in place. Gina and Wendy and Sherry, thank you for your work. And Dusty, who is our project manager that's been leading this effort for the last year. So thank you all for your time and effort, and we're excited to get this underway. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. And we're a little bit ahead of schedule, which is nice because I'm afraid this whole thing's going to collapse on us if we don't get out of here soon enough. So, but we are going to be proceeding now to the ceremonial groundbreaking, which will take place just behind the tent here. Also, make sure that on your way there, I believe there are some gift bags being handed out. So if you want to grab one of those, please take one and then proceed to the ceremonial groundbreaking. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Looks like we have a